Thank you. Mm-hmm.
Thinking the same thing. Nikki had a good turnout for her volleyball girls.
I think so. I didn't get to go, but
Okay.
yeah.
My granddaughter was one of them.
Did she mention that? Yeah. All right, I'll go ahead and call our Tuesday, June 23rd council meeting to order. If you would, please rise and join us for a prayer and the pledge.
Please bow your heads with me. Our dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day and the many blessings you've given us. Lord, we thank you for this beautiful community that we're each so blessed to serve. Lord, we just ask that you be present in this meeting this evening. We ask that you give a special blessing to these council members and volunteers that are in the room that just give of their time to move our community forward. Lord, we ask that you be with each person here tonight, that you're with them and for safe travels home. And we just ask that you lead us and guide us and forgive us where we fail you. We say all these things in the name of Jesus. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Mayor Kennedy.
Here.
Chairman Pro Tem Lewis.
Here.
Councilwoman Oplinger.
Here.
Councilwoman Pettit.
Here.
Councilman Blades.
Here.
You have a quorum.
Thank you. We'll move into public comment. A citizen desiring to speak on an item not on the agenda may do so at this time. Each citizen is limited to 3 minutes, and the council will not take action or discuss items at this time. Discussion should be limited to matters of city business, and public comment is not permitted in regard to personnel matters or on pending legal matters. Items introduced under public comment may become agenda items at a later date. Shannon Walker.
Good evening, Council. I wanted just to take a few minutes really to say thank you for all of the city's help for another successful event at Light the Night. We don't have numbers yet, but I know that the street department did 7 rows of parking this year, which is more than we've done in the past, and they were all full. So, but it was a great event. It was a great turnout. We had no rain. Far as I know that there was a couple complaints, but whatever. Doesn't really bother me anymore. So we just want to say thank you from the Aurora Chamber for all the help that we received and the partnership that we have with the city. So questions, anything? I would stay, but I've got to get my granddaughter to dance. But anyway.
No questions for me.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you all very much again.
Thank you what you do.
Next, we have Alex Warren.
Hi guys. At this point, I feel like I could just go squeak, squeak. You know, I had a person tell me a long time ago, the squeaky wheel is the one that gets the grease. So I'm here to remind you guys that after you speak at city council meetings and you get intimidated by a member that you spoke about or something that you spoke about, that is something that we should all probably be concerned about. As somebody from last city council meeting had a nice envelope sent to them as a threat against me. So just so you all are aware, it's not just me getting harassed, it's anybody else that speaks about it. So watch your words. Thanks, guys.
Next, we have Kay Pilkington.
Came to talk about streets, but first of all, last night we were downtown, and I don't know who's in charge of taking care of the lights, the lamp lights, but we counted 7 that were out. And so I don't know. I mean, for safety, I mean, I was like, oh,
They're
okay.
damaged by hail and replacements have been ordered.
I know there was one completely broken out, but then there was just several dark, and I counted 7, but I didn't go everywhere, but it's mainly up and down, mainly on the old bootlegger building in that area down in there. Okay. I noticed in the paper that you guys, I think they had quoted maybe Carrie or somebody on, you're gonna do some paving. There's some bids on paving and mentioned some streets, but then I think maybe Carrie had mentioned that there might be some changes. So I don't know if you know that yet, what streets that's gonna be. We got a flooding problem. They keep paving the streets higher and higher. Every time it gets paved, you know, the old pavement's not knocked down. And for example, on Rinker Street, I had to talk to Carrie about maybe a year ago. We had a house we'd owned for years that you used to be able to just drive off into the yard. It's got a driveway. And my property manager brought it to my attention. You know, she said, gosh, you can't even pull a car in there anymore. So I bought a whistle. City guys came out because it was just unapproachable. You couldn't approach it anymore. But over the years, every time they pave, the street just gets higher. And so, and then we've bought some property with the same problem. You know, it just keeps getting higher and higher. So, and then someone needs to help me, or we can work together on it. Business 60 right here. It is so high. We have 3 properties there. And one is, I consider the old Bob Moffett building. One's 203 Church, and I can't remember the other address on the corner off the top of my head, but you've got Peterson's Funeral Home. Anyway, that street is getting so high, and it's causing water to run off in that building. And then, I mean, you're like this when you pull off right there at 203 Church. Kathy Hukel lives next door to it. I can't think of the other lady's name. And then you got Peterson's. And I've talked to Carrie about it too. But that is a state road, right? You guys aren't paying for those paving there, right?
Correct.
So where would we start to get something done about that? Because they're just going to come in and it's going to get higher and higher. So, I mean, we've already lost one house on a corner, you know, on down, but so I want to bring that to your attention if anybody's got any resolutions or, you know, where to start, because I mean, I think we've got to start with the state, but we got to be aware of it right here in town because it affects so many properties. So I don't know if the asphalt guys are just not wanting to tear it up. I'm sure it's going to cost more money to tear what's there up, but you just, you know, how high are we going to go?
So are you just so I understand what you're saying? Are you suggesting like the
pavement,
additional? Go ahead.
Yeah, I said every time they pave it, you know, nothing else is taken off. It's just another layer on another layer.
Okay.
So
and you're suggesting, just make sure I understand you, adding another layer is causing the flooding?
More and more all the time, and then hard to get to your approach, and you get all that water runoff. But that's why I was kind of saying some addresses. If you know, and I noticed getting out at the Little League field, they have probably paved that not too long ago, and man, it's like boom when you go off of there. But I mean, I can't worry about the Little League field, but my properties, our properties, you know what I'm saying? The businesses. So, but I mean, I would like you guys to all kind of maybe drive off the road or, you know, kind of watch and see what I'm talking about. So, I mean, I just think it's a matter of getting some of that top off and then redoing it. But you just can't just keep going higher. It's just causing too many flooding problems. So, okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
May I? Just for your all's information, I filed a complaint about a month ago with MoDOT for the area between Washington and Lincoln because of the water buildup. She's right. It
Yeah.
floods over there. I believe that it's probably being caused by some of the medians that they built that aren't draining well. But in case you do something, just know I've already filed with MoDOT a concern about that area of water. So.
Yeah, thank you.
Phone number? Do you have a phone number?
I did it online. I usually know it's long.
Next up, we have Aiden.
Good evening, council.
Good evening.
I have decided to make a redesign for the flag, and it's gotten a ton of approval from the community. And here's some papers you can pass on.
So did you see the Facebook post where the city's asking for submissions for this, for the digital copy? So it's out there if you want to submit your copy to them. And those submissions are open until June 30th. So you have another week.
And there's a guy named Mike Walker he has a business called Fire and Grain, and also pass this along to each member. He did some wood. He did a wood art for the flag that I designed, and I was wondering if where I could submit this digital thing on the Facebook site, like where
Yep.
would I?
City of Aurora Facebook page, there was a post that was just reshared today. That kind of has the details on where to send that in. And if you've already sent it, do you already have his?
We already
Okay.
have his.
You have the newest version?
Yes.
Okay,
I
okay.
believe so.
So yours is in.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah, you'll sleep better at night when this is done.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you,
thank you.
Have a good day.
Too.
Yeah, we got to skate out there, guys.
All right.
Thank you.
Have a good one.
You too. Good to see y'all. And he's been playing golf, that's why we haven't been here. Just to let you know about that too. Thanks again.
Thank you. All right, having no further public comment, we'll move into council forum. Chairman Pro Tem.
I have nothing to report as far as meeting goes. I did want to maybe ask we could put a future street cut discussion on the agenda. I would like to see us put in place a penalty for not submitting permits. It's to recover some of the cost we're incurring to chase these down. So I think we've had a run of utility companies just not following the procedure, and so it's causing us an extra time, legwork. So some way to recoup, whether it's just double the street fee if there's no permit application within 10 business days or something. I've seen other communities do to recoup some of that time lost of chasing these down. But that's my thought. That's all I have.
Attended late tonight and a great event on there, and that's all I've got.
I volunteered for the chamber for the cruise in late tonight and 2 nights at the rodeo with Miss Kamikulo. We did a lot of cooking of burgers. And Carrie was wonderful at light tonight and drove a bunch of people back and forth. So.
I don't have anything to report.
We unfortunately had some scheduling issues, not scheduling, but attendance issues with the park board meeting last week, so that was canceled. But other than that, I had nothing else. All right, with that, we'll move into consent agenda. This would be for the approval of minutes for the city council regular session on June 9th and for the June 2026 appropriations.
I'll make a motion to approve the June 2026 appropriations and the regular session minutes of June 9th.
Second.
Motion and second, please vote.
Motion passed.
Thank you. Old business, 7.1, second reading of ordinance number 2026-3374, lot split for Stephen Hicks. Any further questions, council? I'll make a motion, we approve the second reading of ordinance number 2026-3374, lot split, Stephen Hicks.
Second.
Motion and second, please vote.
Motion passed.
New business, 8.1, resolution number 2026-2110, Maple Park Cemetery Shop Building bid. Come on down.
Good evening.
Good evening.
First, I want to say thank you to you guys and Carrie and the community for just believing in the cemetery that we could get a new building, So, but we had 2 bids. We had a lot of interest, but we only had 2 bids turned in, and we opened those. Cass Construction. I'm not familiar with him, but Aaron and Carrie said that he's kind of a local guy and
No.
he does a lot of local business around here. And so he had the lowest bid and he's came out multiple times and I've talked to him and he had the lowest bid and we opened them last Tuesday.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Big difference in the bids.
Yeah, that was my only question.
So-
Whenever.
Yeah, and I think I kind of know maybe what part of that is. So, if we're at 75, if we're over $75,000, it becomes prevailing wage on the whole job.
Mm-hmm.
So if we've got two contractors that are, he was at 73,722. So if another contractor is even a little bit higher than him
Mhm.
and gets that 75,000 threshold, that's going to make the whole job prevailing wage. So that's going to a lot of times double your manpower wages hourly on whoever's constructing the building and that kind of thing. So I anticipate that that's probably a portion of what the situation was there. We did receive a lot of questions about there not being a engineered spec sheet for the construction of the building. Brad and Aaron and I collectively agreed that that wasn't necessary on this. We're building a shop building.
Mm-hmm.
So we did not have it engineered. It was simply a spec sheet with specs off of what we expected that to be constructed of. That may have left a little bit of room for interpretation in terms of items being in there, number of receptacles and things like that. But we asked it to be built to code. So I think those two things maybe created a little bit of differentiation in some of these bids and the interest. But we are confident in the fact that Cass can construct it at that amount.
Okay. I think that's what I wanted to hear. So we're comfortable with what they bid.
I believe so, yes.
Okay.
No concerns from my seating.
He's came out multiple times and measured and. I mean,
What do we have
he's
to
had a lot of
hold them
questions.
to that? Because we've kind of been down this several times where we get a bid and we get started and before you know it's 2-3 times what.
Yeah,
what was
we'll have a contract
approved.
that will hold them to that amount without an ability to proceed without any, future consideration. So, contractual agreement would be the best answer I can give you for that. But I'm rather confident he can construct it for that.
What was the budgeted amount?
85.
Okay. Good.
And when we budgeted that, we based that on some estimates that so we went to some local contractors and asked for estimates. And then they, of course, had to submit a formal bid just like everyone else. But we budgeted that based on local contractors giving us a thought process on what that could cost. So that's why we're pretty close there to that budgeted amount. Sorry, Brad.
I'll make a motion to approve Resolution 2026-2110 Maple Park Cemetery Shop Building bid. Sorry.
I'll second that motion.
A motion and a second. Please vote.
Motion passed.
Thank you. 8.2, resolution number 2026-2111, records disposal.
This is our yearly records retention disposal.
We'll make a motion that we accept resolution 2026-2111 record disposal.
I'll second that motion.
Motion and a second. Please vote.
Motion passed.
Thank you. 8.3, resolution number 2026-2112, fireworks extension.
Council, this one comes to you in the same fashion that it did last year. So we had a request from some local fireworks tent owners due to the fact that the holiday will fall on Saturday, similar to last year. Last year it fell on Friday, I believe. Similar to last year, they just indicated that with it running through the weekend, they're just asking to sell one more day. Conversation with the police chief, he indicated that he expects people to celebrate on Sunday as well this year with it falling like it does per date. So maybe a little bit of difference there in terms of that being a Sunday evening with Monday being back to a work day.
Yeah.
But we're bringing it to you for consideration just like last year. It's a carbon copy.
Question procedurally first, and I have some others, but this is a resolution, but I think we're amending an ordinance, right? So isn't that, can we do that with can a ordinance be amended by a resolution? I thought it was only equal or lesser, right? Because we're kind of going upstream here.
So we're not changing the law. It's just a one-time change.
But is it changing the language of the ordinance?
Not permanently.
Yes.
Yes, it would be for now, but it's not changing it permanently. Okay.
So it should be, and you can change cross out resolution and put, and write ordinance right now. And it can be, you can do a double read and still pass it. Cause you don't meet again until afterwards.
Right.
There are theories out there that in essence, what you are doing is choosing to not follow your own ordinance. And that you can, in your own judgment, announce that you are choosing your own, following your own ordinance. And so there are some who would say, yes, you can do a resolution in this instance to change it. So there's two theories out there.
Man, I was afraid I was going to open a can of worms with that. I know it's super minor, but if like another scenario, it would be a big deal, right? Like if we passed an ordinance that had a double reading, but then turned around and changed it with a resolution that only had one with less checks and signage and all that stuff. I think that's the.
In essence, what you're doing is extending a right to a limited number of people for a limited time period that you intend to go back on. And so the ramifications are limited. It's a right you have in choosing by law. And so you just as well could instruct not to enforce. Let them continue to sell. Nobody writes tickets, or we're not going to proceed in tickets. So I think that you can pass it by resolution. It would not be the most precise way, but I think it's defensible. There's no one who would have an action regarding it. It wouldn't create liability.
At some point, I'll just share my thoughts and then we can go down the line, I guess. But at some point we got to cut it off, and the 4th is on a Saturday, so you've got Thursday, Friday, Saturday. To me, that's ample time to shoot off fireworks and buy them and sell them. So, that's my, at some point there's got to be an end, and I personally don't want to listen to it at 11:30 on Sunday evening, but that's me.
Yeah, back in the day, it used to be quite a drama with our other city managers. We just would have it so many times, and I can't tell you, the longer the time is, the more complaints we get.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of with you, Jason. I hate to be that curmudgeon.
Yeah, and I didn't give them any direction or indication. I told them it's a council consideration. So that's completely up to you guys. That's why it's in front of you.
Yeah.
Not a decision I can make without you. So
By statute, it can be all the way from June 20th to July 10th for temporary structures. Not sure parameters.
What's everyone else's thoughts?
I don't have an issue with it. I've never had an issue with the fireworks. So
yeah. I mean, I'd be open to extending shooting them off, not selling them. Like there's no point in, I think we're just extending folks continuing to buy and shoot. Extending the selling doesn't make sense to me, but something earlier than midnight on Sunday, maybe it's 10 p.m. or I don't know.
How about noon?
I mean, with that point, that everybody's had their chance to light them all. So, but yeah.
What do you think, Josh?
I don't have a problem with it. I think it'd be kind of, people probably have already got plans in place. Families already. Some people maybe not be able to make it in on a Saturday. This is a big holiday, obviously anniversary coming up. I'm not opposed to saying 10 o'clock or 10:30 or something like that. But and if you're going to be shooting them off, might as well be selling. So that is tax money coming in, correct?
Ms. Teresa?
I feel like a deadline's a deadline. July 4th, it's over, and you should make plans ahead of time. But this is the 250th year of the country, but I hope people are thinking of that when they buy the fireworks. But I hope that the police are not having a problem with people tearing up our streets and stuff like that with longer of having those. We had that problem last year. Right. If you remember that.
Well, and I think that's the other side of it too. You know, there's probably additional staff and overtime and the whole 9 yards. Yeah. I like having a cutoff,
It's a
but
challenge to enforce, mostly because a lot of these people are juvenilized. Some of them are adults, but a lot of them are juveniles. So it's a difficult thing to enforce. But we'll do what you guys want us to do.
I hate to ask, what do the other towns do? Does anybody know what they do?
Some towns don't allow any aerial fireworks at all.
Yeah, it varies greatly.
Okay.
Several of my clients have extended out.
Okay.
Is this just for the cell or for the shooting up?
That's what we're talking.
And then the cell, when
Selling.
does that quit on the 4th?
Well, we're discussing a bit
Because
moving it to the 5th.
So do
How
we
much
want to
money
modify,
would we be losing if we didn't move it to the 5th as well? That's another question.
do we want to, so the first topic would be the ordinance versus running with the resolution. I think it sounds like the preferable manner would be to state this in ordinance, read it twice. Is that what I heard?
Yes, but is it defensible if you do it by resolution because it's a minor change for a temporary amount? Is it defensible? Sure.
Okay.
Lawyer Hanson, sorry.
So I think we're gonna make the motion in the affirmative for either as written or 10 p.m. and then people can make their choice if they want to cut off 4th.
do we want to include the sale of it as well or not? To me, I think.
Well, the sale is the origination of the request. I think was where this came from, was the actual vendors.
And I think I would be opposed, but we can read it however, and we can all vote.
Do we want to? Well, I guess that's what I'm getting at. Do we want to
The use and sale.
throw the baby out with the bathwater, or do we want to modify that verbiage?
I think I would be open to extending it Sunday, shooting it off until 10 without selling them, leaving that cutoff at the 4th. But I think the longer you sell it, the longer the trail and the tail of people shooting them off into Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday go. So I think at some point you just have to stop selling them, or people will continue to have what they've purchased and buy more and reload, and at some point we've got to draw the line. So
I can see it either way. Is the big 250th, and I can see the tax dollars and the vendor sell. Getting that.
I mean, that's going to be an extra day for them to be able to clear out all their inventory too on Saturday. So,
Do you want to
in my opinion.
make that motion?
I will make a motion that we approve resolution 2026-2112 with the adjustment to the reading that we leave the sale of fireworks stops on the 4th, but we extend the shooting of fireworks through Sunday to 10 p.m.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Please vote.
Motion passed.
Thank you. That is the end of our regular agenda. We'll move into staff reports, city manager report.
Council, I'll highlight a few things for you this evening. Police and fire both reported Light the Night was a success. I'll return the thank you back to the chamber for that event. Well organized again this year, and special thank you to all of our staff. There were lots of people out there with yellow shirts on and PD uniforms on and fire uniforms on, and everybody was there doing their thing. Brad set me up with using the side-by-side that you guys approved for purchase in the cemetery this year, so I was able to assist with helping to transport people from the parking lot to the event, and it was just a really good experience overall, and the feedback I had was great. So thank you to our staff, thank you to Shannon and the chamber and all the volunteers that helped put that on, as well as the vendors, fireworks crew, everybody involved. So thank you all for allowing that as a council, and it was a good event once again. Fire department partnered with the community development department and has done inspections of all fireworks tents, and they've all passed. So that's been completed this year. Street department brush pickup has increased significantly, as in it's taken them 3 weeks out of the month to do brush pickup.
Well, if
After
we stop storming for 5 minutes, that would be great.
Exactly. So we have had some conversations about the weather contributing to that. However, We are having some conversations to prepare to open the new brush drop-off site additional times, maybe 3 or 4 days a week starting out. We won't have it manned regularly, but we've talked to the property owner who we're in an agreement with about what that looks like and how we manage that and push up the brush and monitor what goes there. We're going to give it a shot because our street staff needs some relief right now on how much time they're spending on that. So unless you guys have an issue with that, we are going to open it up a little more and just see if we can improve that a little bit for that department.
On brush pickup, is
Yeah.
there a, should we think about or talk about the size that we should be picking up, right? Because at some point it's like clearly a hired hand or tree service, right? That's pushing that stuff out there. Really hard to police and so should there be a size limit that would speed some of this up?
There is.
There is, yeah, there is already.
Because I mean, I've seen folks just on my road like pick up everything, right?
Yeah.
And
Like
I know we're
60
doing a great
inches or
service,
something
and
like that.
the guys will just do it. But
Jason and I have had some conversations about that in the last few days as well, that we've gotten away from those regulations and those specified sizes that we will pick up and how it's to be out, what the sizes are to be that are acceptable. And we're going to be pulling back on that a little bit. We're going to make sure that we communicate that. We have communicated it and published it on our social media and our website, but we're going to be pushing that out pretty hard here as we push out additional open times at the brush site to try to refresh that for everyone. And then they are going to get a little more particular about what they're willing to pick up and what they're not. We may get a little bit of complaint or pushback on that until we help the community to understand it well. So I want you guys to be aware of that, but we are going to try to improve that because it takes a lot more time and different equipment when we've got larger sizes out there than the guys can really manage well. So we're going to try to do some education to help the community understand that and then try to improve upon all of that. So that is in the plan. The stormwater cleanup that we've talked about, we rented a machine for that. Machine was delivered, all the rain. It was too wet for us to even get in and get started. Dump trucks couldn't get to it to haul things out, that kind of thing. That machine went back. The company has been really, really good. They're going to credit some time for that. And we're going to start again here when it dries up a little bit. We're hoping we see a break in the rain here in the future. But it just hasn't been where the guys could get started on that. And then also the brush pickup, trying to split that team up, the best they could. So that has not started yet, as I'm sure you're aware, but that is we're in the works. So we're going to be resetting on that a little bit here in the coming weeks. Wastewater, the second item on there, I typoed. So I just wanted to point that out. Looking into a plant improvement grant for future upgrades. So that's the same kind of funding process we've used previously. But Algar Martin has notified us that there may be some additional funding out there coming available for plant improvement projects. So where I said plant twice, it should have been grant. So I just wanted to clarify that for you, that we're working on some additional funding.
Okay.
Airport, we did hold an on-site meeting with the fixed-based operator. We're working through some minor repairs that need to take place out there, repair to the other old existing hangar building for some doors there. It's not currently being utilized to its full capacity, so we're going to get that repaired. And then we're also discussing prioritization of some future projects and improvements out there that need to be done outside of what the federal aid money will take care of. So we're working with Justin on that. Community development and public facilities, the City Hall rehab project is complete. We'll be doing an upcoming walkthrough with the contractor to confirm all the punch list items are complete. As of now, Aaron and I are both satisfied with where we're at on the project. As I communicated to you previously, there may be some additional things that we want to look at that weren't in the scope. And we'll be talking about city staff doing those. But in terms of the overall project, we are pretty well complete. Once we finish those other not scope items that I'd mentioned, I would like to have a ribbon cutting here to celebrate that rehabilitation. Maybe we wait until the north lawn is complete as well. But I just wanted to let you guys know that's kind of in my thoughts. So if you're open to that, I would like to celebrate this rehab a little bit once we're finalized.
Great idea.
Admin and human resources, just a reminder that the employee appreciation luncheon is Thursday at the fire department. And also wanted to mention that I attended the Transportation Advisory Committee to MoDOT. As you all know, I sit on that committee. And last week was our annual meeting in conjunction with the county commissioners to talk about the prioritization list for our county, our region, and then how that moves up to MoDOT. I'm going to be emailing you guys the documents, and we can put them on the city website as well so that they are publicly viewable. But we have that list of prioritization needs, and it's for the most part unchanged from last year. So on the road and bridge section, in the top three are what MoDOT takes for consideration for their projects for upcoming planning. We are in the top three for the intersection of Church and Elliott, where we have some trouble with trucks and different pieces of equipment and vehicles trying to go north if they're headed from, if they're westbound. Excuse me. So we still sit in that top three. One thing that we did is the number one priority continues to be the Highway 60 corridor, really to consider it from Republic all the way to Monette, where it picks up 37 and goes south down into northern Arkansas through Cassville. That continues to be number one, but we've decided to put some emphasis on and extra information on specific things within that corridor, because we feel like that being such an overwhelming project, cost-wise and size-wise, maybe we're missing some things that are peppered in throughout that. So one of the things that I added to that number one prioritization on that corridor is at 39 and 60. We have a lot of new congestion or additional congestion happening at that intersection. Staff believes that that is partially because of the median that was placed when Maverick was constructed out there for that new commercial development. So we've put that in the conversation and asked MoDOT to look at that and see if there's anything we can do to alleviate some of that congestion and how traffic can flow in and off of the highway there. They indicated they already had notes about that, so I see them maybe doing a little bit of consideration in that area. The next area that we prioritize is bike and pedestrian. We continue to be number two. That's unchanged again this year. We are number two on that list, and that's for sidewalks along Highway 30 or Elliott, Highway 39, as it runs through our community. So we continue to be at the top of that list. Those are really the primary areas, but we prioritize somewhere around 25 on each of those categories. And we do have some other projects on there as well, such as Carnation and Church, that intersection due to school traffic twice a day, maybe some lighted signage and things like that is on that list. So we have several areas that I just updated and confirmed for them that are still concerns, and we remain on the list in the priority area. I will share those lists with you. That's what I was referring to, so that you all can review those. They're 11 by 17 and just kind of cumbersome. Not a lot of pages, but I'll get them to you so that you guys can look at it in case you have any questions for me. But I continue to participate in that and try to keep our voice at the table with MoDOT.
Okay.
So that's my highlights for tonight, unless you have any other questions for me.
Further? No. All right, with that, I will make a motion to move into closed session pursuant to RSMO 610.021 for items 1, 3, and 13.
Second?
I have a motion and a second. Roll call vote, please.
Mayor Kennedy?
Yes.
Chairman Pro Tem Lewis?
Yes.
Councilwoman Oplinger?
Yes.
Councilwoman Pettit?
Yes.
Councilman Blades?
Yes.
You are now in closed session.
All right, thank you. Thank you, everyone.